Had believed our report. And to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of dry ground. He has no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we shall desire of him. He's despised and rejected, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. But yet we hid our faces from him. But surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. For the chastisement of our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. But all we like sheep have gone astray, have turned every man to his own way, and God have laid on him the iniquity of us all. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world. He did it because he loved us. He did it because no one else could do it. He took an innocent man. They put a cross on his back. And they beat him all the way to Calvary for you and I. He gave down as they beat him. Beat him in the street, all the way to Calvary. But Jesus thought it not robbery to make himself equal with God. Took upon himself the form of a servant and humbled himself even to the death of the cross. Must Jesus bear the cross alone while all the world go free? I tell you tonight, there's a cross for everyone, and there's a cross for me. They commissioned a Syrian to help Jesus bear his cross. It got heavy, I tell you. I tell you, it got heavy. It was a tedious journey. The weight of the world was on his shoulder. But he kept going. I come to tell somebody tonight, when it get heavy, keep going. Jesus said, come unto me, all you that are laboring and heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. They beat him. You see him? Innocent. Oh, hadn't done nobody no wrong. But because he loved us. He loved us. What a love. Unconditional. While we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. I say to some here tonight, don't wait until you think you got it right. You'll never have it right. You just have to trust Jesus. Give him your life. accept the sacrifice that was made to bring about salvation. I know today people want to preach a gospel without a cross, but I come to tell you, where there's no cross, there's no gospel. Somebody had to die. Buddha couldn't do it. Muhammad couldn't do it. Only Jesus. They're there now. Calvary. There where they hung two malefactors to add more insult, to make it look as though they were doing right, when all along they were doing wrong. Calvary, the place of a skull. Golgotha, hung Jesus between two criminals. Yes, they were worthy and they were guilty, but Jesus was innocent. You and I, our sins made us guilty, but Jesus was innocent. They brought him, Jesus. They took Jesus and hung him there on that old rugged cross. As his mother and brothers and others came to the place, they nailed him to the cross. You could hear the hammer ring all the way down in Jerusalem. They lifted him. You see him, don't you? Lifted Jesus. I heard him say, if I be lifted, I'll draw all men unto me. They lifted him. There, on the cross. I tell you, the nails didn't hold him there. It was love that lifted me. Love lifted you. He hung there. 6 hours. Got so dark. Dark all over the world. Two suns couldn't shine at the same time. When the S-O-N went up, the S-U-N had to go down. The malefactors, one of them marked him and said, You call yourself Jesus? You've been saving everybody? Save yourself. Come down off the cross. But the one on the right looked at Jesus and he said, Master, when you come in your Father's kingdom, remember me. And Jesus put death on hold. You know he's able to do that, don't you? To put death on hold. We're here tonight not because we've been good, but he put death on hold. We were counted out, but he put death on hold. And he told him, this day thou shalt be with me in paradise. Jesus looked down from the cross and witnessed his mother weeping, and he said, woman, behold thy son. Son, behold thy mother. They soldiers broke the malefactor's legs, but when they got to Jesus, he was already dead. It had been prophesied that wouldn't a bone be broken in his body. They told one of the soldiers to make sure and pierce him in his side. And they pierced him in his side. Out came blood and water. Water for baptism. Blood for the remission of sin. About the ninth hour, Jesus cried, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, my God, why have thou forsaken me? The veil of the temple was rent from top to bottom. Jesus, when the blood came dripping down, one of the centurions that had been bruised on the way to Calvary, when the blood touched him, he was healed, and he said, surely, this must be the Son of God. He laid his head, he cried out, he died, I tell you. He died till the world was notified. He died until sinners were justified. He died till my soul was sanctified. He died till hell was horrified. He died until glory to heaven got glorified. He laid his head in the locks of his shoulder. He cried out, it's finished. It's finished. Into thy hands I command my spirit. Joseph, Arimathea came. They took him off the cross. It was not lawful for them to leave him there. But he didn't have nowhere. Didn't even have a tomb. I heard him tell his disciples earlier, foxes have holes. The birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man don't have nowhere to lay his head. But Joseph gave him his tomb. He begged Pilate for the body, and they wrapped Jesus. You see him, don't you? They asked Joseph, say, what you gonna do? You got to die. You got to have a tomb. But Joseph said, I remember that he said in 3 days. In 3 days. It looked like a bad Friday. It looked like a bad day. But don't count your days till all your days come in.